Hello, radiant souls. Today, we unveil the shocking yet sacred duality within every chosen one. Their kindness flows from divine mercy, but when pushed beyond divine limits, their holy fire awakens. As the kindest souls, they heal, restore, and illuminate a broken world, carrying peace like a silent flame. Yet beneath this gentleness lies the lion's roar, a force of cosmic justice that fiercely defends truth and sanctity. Their patience is not weakness, but spiritual mastery. Their wrath, when summoned, is a sacred act of divine realignment. Every step they take is guided by higher wisdom, unveiling deception, uplifting the broken, and restoring divine order. Chosen ones embody both the healing balm and the blazing fire of heaven itself. If you feel the call to walk boldly in your divine power, declare in the comments, "I rise as a guardian of truth." Subscribe and share this light with others, for the world needs your brilliance now more than ever. Within every chosen one resides a sacred paradox, a divine interplay of gentleness and ferocity etched in the wisdom of Scripture. Like the Lamb heralded in the Bible, they tread softly, their spiritual power veiled in compassion, offering solace to souls battered by life's storms. This tenderness is no accident. It's a deliberate choice, a reflection of their divine purpose to nurture and heal in a fractured world. Their kindness flows from a deep wellspring of divine mercy, a living testament to the patience and love that the Creator extends to humanity. Yet, beneath this serene facade burns the heart of a lion, a holy fire that awakens when truth is betrayed or sacred boundaries are crossed. Their silence is not submission, it is vigilance. When the line of righteousness is transgressed, when deception dares to obscure the path of the faithful, the chosen one rises, not in vengeance, but in sacred fury. Imagine a weary soul, deceived by lies, suddenly confronted by a chosen one's righteous stand. Their words, sharp as a prophet's, cut through deceit, unveiling a truth revelation that reshapes perspectives and realigns hearts with divine purpose. This inner strength is not mere anger but a cosmic justice, a purifying force that consumes falsehoods and restores balance. It is the roar of heaven echoed through human vessels, a cry that reverberates across unseen realms, declaring that truth shall not be silenced. The Book of Revelation illuminates this duality. The Lamb, bearer of mercy, wields the lion's might, embodying a spiritual awakening that both heals and judges. In their lives, chosen ones embody this mystery, called to extend grace to the humble and raise the sword of truth against the proud and the corrupt. To provoke this lion is to ignite a power that realigns destinies, a testament that their kindness is not weakness, but a shield for their divine energy, a divine armor forged through trials, consecrated by fire. Their mission, rooted in biblical paradox, is to walk as peacemakers while standing as warriors, guarding the sanctity of truth and the purity of light. Every word they speak, every stand they take, is not random. It is strategically aligned with a heavenly mandate. As we delve deeper, this dynamic unveils the chosen ones as bearers of light and justice, their every action a step toward fulfilling a higher calling. They are the keepers of sacred gates, the protectors of spiritual heritage, and the living fulfillment of ancient prophecies. In a world teetering between darkness and revelation, they rise as living flames, gentle as doves, fierce as lions, each heartbeat a declaration that the kingdom of God still breathes and moves through the hearts of the faithful. As bearers of light and justice, chosen ones embody a divine purpose that transcends mere existence. They weave transformation into the very fabric of the world. Every step they take is a silent sermon, every breath a prayer woven into the tapestry of divine intention. Enter their presence, and a healing energy envelops you, like a gentle tide soothing the chaos of a restless soul. Their existence becomes a living sanctuary, an unspoken invitation for weary spirits to find rest, restoration, and awakening. This transformative presence is no ordinary gift. It's a sacred emanation of their spiritual power, a beacon of hope, piercing a shadowed world. Their light is not self-created, but drawn from the eternal source, purified through suffering and obedience. Imagine a fractured community, divided by mistrust. When a chosen one steps in, their aura shifts the very air. Hearts once hardened by betrayal and fear soften. Old wounds begin to mend, and a spark of courage ignites, inspiring unity where discord once reigned. They carry not only a message but a movement, a ripple effect that stirs the unseen realms. Their divine light doesn't merely comfort. It awakens, stirring dormant souls to glimpse the truth revelation buried beneath layers of doubt and fear. It is not a passive glow, but an active force, drawing forth the noblest parts of the human spirit while exposing the shadows that cling to deception. This radiance, born of their unwavering alignment with a higher calling, burns away despair, echoing the holy fire of their lion's heart that flares in defense of sacred truth. The book of Isaiah proclaims a light that scatters darkness, and so the chosen ones shine, not as fleeting candles but as pillars of divine illumination, their spiritual awakening becoming a living catalyst for renewal. Their presence realigns not only individuals but entire atmospheres, charging spaces with a holy resonance that fosters inner peace and collective harmony. Cities, families, and even nations can feel the pulse of change when a chosen one rises in their midst. Yet this power is but a glimpse of their deeper mission: to heal, to inspire, and to unveil the sanctity of truth. It is not for glory or personal gain, but for the fulfillment of a heavenly mandate etched into their very souls. Every encounter, every word, every silent prayer contributes to a divine orchestration far greater than themselves. As we journey onward, their radiance reveals a dual gift, a balm for the broken and a mirror reflecting the divine energy they are sworn to guard. Through them, heaven touches earth, not with the roar of conquest, but with the quiet, unstoppable force of love transformed into light. The divine light of the chosen ones, a balm for the broken, is also a mirror reflecting the divine energy they guard, a radiant force that heals and reveals with unyielding clarity. Step into their transformative presence, and wounds begin to mend. Hearts find solace. Linger, and their spiritual power unveils the shadows beneath the surface. Their very existence becomes an altar where the unseen is brought to light, where the soul's hidden fractures are gently, yet irrevocably, exposed to the healing gaze of the divine. Imagine a weary traveler, burdened by self-deception, standing before a chosen one. Their gaze, sharp as a prophet's, pierces through layers of pretense, sparking a truth revelation that shatters illusions and awakens dormant courage. This healing energy doesn't merely soothe, it burns away lies with a holy fire, echoing the cosmic justice of their lion's heart. It is a light that does not simply comfort, but compels, a force that demands transformation in those who dare to behold it. The psalmist sings of light exposing the heart's secrets, and so their spiritual awakening strips away falsehoods, leaving only the sanctity of truth. In their presence, deception withers like mist before the rising sun. Yet this divine purpose is a double-edged sword, turning inward to refine the chosen ones themselves. They are not exempt from the purifying fire they carry. Rather, they are its first recipients. Like a sacred forge, their light purges doubts, fears, and outdated burdens, transforming pain into wisdom, dross into gold, weakness into divine strength. Consider a chosen one wrestling with their own insecurities, facing the silent trials no eye can see, battling the hidden wars of the spirit. Through their inner strength and divine submission, they emerge renewed, their radiance sharpened by adversity, their mission deepened by personal resurrection. Every scar becomes a testament, every wound a wellspring of sacred compassion. This divine illumination, far from gentle, is a relentless force, both fierce and sacred, forging paths to authenticity for all who encounter it. It refuses compromise. It demands that masks be discarded, that souls remember their true names inscribed before time began. Rooted in divine will, this light does not falter nor fail. It is the manifestation of a promise older than the stars themselves. It aligns souls with a higher truth, a mission etched in the Book of John. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. This is the destiny of the chosen ones, not to extinguish darkness by force, but to outshine it by revelation. As their journey unfolds, this light's dual nature, restoring and exposing, reveals their sacred charge, to guide humanity not by domination, but by the undeniable brilliance of truth revealed. Through every word, every silent battle, every act of unseen courage, the chosen ones testify. The darkness is vast, but the light is sovereign. And through them, the divine speaks still. Guided by their sacred charge to unveil truth revelation, chosen ones embody a divine purpose that radiates through their strategic patience, a virtue transcending mere waiting. Far from passive, this spiritual power is a profound alignment with divine timing, a cosmic rhythm they alone discern, attuned through the trials and fires they have endured. Their patience is not born of indifference, but of deep communion with the eternal, a trust that every seed of truth planted will bloom when heaven decrees. Imagine a soul entangled in conflict, lashing out in anger. A chosen one stands poised, their silence a beacon of inner strength, their stillness a shield against chaos. They listen beyond words, see beyond appearances, and attune to the universe's pulse, trusting that the truth revelation will surface when the moment is sanctified. Their restraint is not submission to injustice, but a preparation for divine intervention at the perfect hour. This divine light of patience, akin to the holy fire that purges falsehoods, creates sacred space for growth, repentance, and cosmic justice without coercion. Picture a mentor guiding a wayward heart, waiting not in frustration but in hope. Each moment of silence a prayer for awakening, each withheld word a seed of transformation. Their patience fosters healing where haste would wound, wisdom where reaction would breed regret. The book of Ecclesiastes teaches, "To everything there is a season," and chosen ones live this wisdom as a sacred rhythm. Their every pause is a deliberate act of faith, a step in the unseen choreography of their mission. Their spiritual awakening grants them foresight, discerning when a gentle touch suffices and when a holy fire must blaze forth. They know that sometimes the most powerful move is to wait, and that in waiting, they forge unseen victories. Yet their patience is not endless. It is purposeful, a weapon honed by divine energy. Mistake not their calm for apathy. It is the calm before a storm of transformative action, a stillness charged with the weight of destiny. When the appointed hour arrives, they act with unerring precision, their divine fire reshaping destinies, not in anger, but in perfect harmony with a higher will. Their movements are not reactionary, but revelatory, aligning with cosmic shifts orchestrated by the hand of God. This silent power, rooted in the sacred art of waiting, positions them as architects of authenticity, guides of transformation, and midwives of spiritual rebirth. They do not force change, they awaken it. They do not dominate paths, they illuminate them. As their journey unfolds, their patience reveals a deeper strength, a holy mastery over time and impulse, where truth, revelation, and justice converge not by human might, but by divine harmony. In their waiting, in their watching, in their unwavering trust, they proclaim a truth that echoes through eternity. The light has its appointed hour, and when it shines, no force on earth can withstand it. As architects of authenticity, chosen ones weave truth revelation through their strategic patience, but when their divine purpose is threatened, their spiritual power erupts in a blaze of sacred wrath. Beyond mere peacemakers, they are stewards of a divine energy that surges when their mission to safeguard truth is challenged. Their wrath is not born of wounded pride, but of a holy allegiance to justice, a fierce love for the sanctity of what must not be profaned. Picture a humble leader, enduring slander in silence, suddenly rising. Their voice, charged with holy fire, pierces the air, dismantling falsehoods and realigning destinies. Or envision a friend, betrayed by deceit, confronting the offender with a gaze that strips away all illusions, unveiling a truth revelation so undeniable that even hardened hearts tremble. This eruption is no reckless outburst, but a divine judgment, orchestrated with the same precision as the patience that once restrained them. Their divine light, which heals and unveils, now blazes as a cosmic justice, transforming chaos into order, reclaiming spaces desecrated by lies. It is a consuming fire, a living manifestation of the holy fury described by the prophets of old, both a cleansing and a warning. The Gospel of Matthew proclaims meekness as strength under control, and chosen ones embody this paradox perfectly, their immense inner strength veiled in humility until the appointed hour calls it forth. Their silence, often mistaken for submission, is in truth a reservoir of spiritual awakening, an ocean held behind a dam of divine discipline, unleashed not in vengeance, but in perfect harmony with the higher will. When they rise, it is not to destroy for destruction's sake, but to tear down falsehoods so that new life, rooted in authenticity, may flourish. Consider a community misled by corruption, a poisoned well from which many have drunk. When a chosen one acts, their divine fire exposes hidden motives, dismantles oppressive structures, and restores balance with unerring precision. Their words are not mere protests. They are thunderclaps of truth, shattering strongholds erected by pride and deceit. To provoke them is to challenge a force beyond mortal grasp, a sacred wrath that reshapes the world with truth revelation. This is not the wrath of man, but the wrath of heaven flowing through human vessels, measured, holy, unstoppable. Heed this warning. Underestimating their restraint invites a reckoning none can evade. What was once seen as gentleness becomes an unyielding tidal wave of truth, sweeping away all that is false, leaving no refuge for duplicity. As their journey deepens, this sacred wrath cements their role as guardians of truth, forging justice and authenticity with every purposeful act. In their rising, the world glimpses the fierce mercy of God Himself, the justice that heals, the judgment that sets captives free, the fire that not only consumes but purifies. And through it all, the chosen ones remain what they have always been, beacons of divine light, walking flames of cosmic truth, living echoes of a justice that cannot and will not be denied. As guardians of truth, chosen ones embody a spiritual power anchored in their sacred bond with truth revelation, a divine gift that pierces illusions and reshapes destinies. With a clarity that disarms, they unravel the veils of deception others cling to, exposing hidden motives in a blaze of holy fire. Their presence becomes a living sword, cutting not to destroy but to liberate, to bring the hidden into the light, where healing and transformation can finally begin. Imagine a workplace rife with gossip, where a colleague's deceit festers. Before a chosen one's piercing gaze, the elaborate web of lies unravels, laid bare by a truth revelation that demands authenticity. Masks fall, shadows scatter. In the wake of their silent confrontation, what remains is only what is real, what is whole. Yet this divine light is a double-edged sword, reflecting their own imperfections with unrelenting honesty. Far from shirking this painful reflection, they embrace it, entering a sacred forge where their inner strength purifies doubts, fears, and past wounds. Like gold tested by fire, they allow divine illumination to refine them, making their soul a vessel fit for higher purposes. Every scar becomes a badge of wisdom, every sorrow, a deeper well of compassion. This spiritual awakening transforms pain into wisdom, aligning them with their divine timing and divine purpose. The Gospel of John proclaims, "The truth will set you free," and chosen ones live this reality, not merely preaching it, but bleeding for it, mending their own brokenness, even as they extend healing to others. Their path is not one of perfection, but of authenticity, where each misstep becomes a deeper lesson, each battle an engraving on their soul. Their divine energy uplifts fractured communities, knitting broken bonds with threads of hope and hard-won truth. They walk into spaces soaked in conflict and breathe a new atmosphere into them, not by force, but by the sheer gravitational pull of their integrity. Yet when pushed to their limits, when sacred trust is abused or evil entrenches itself, this energy ignites as a cosmic justice, a sacred wrath that none can withstand. Picture a leader, betrayed by allies, rising to speak. Each word, a prophetic arrow, slicing through manipulation, unveiling a truth revelation that shocks and transforms. Or envision a family divided by long-buried secrets. When a chosen one intervenes, their voice, steady as the herald of a coming storm, forces hidden truths to surface, restoring harmony through painful but necessary clarity. Their response is never fueled by ego, but by an unshakable allegiance to divine will. This is no petty anger, no impulsive reaction. It is a divine judgment, precise and deliberate, echoing the holy fire of their mission. To encounter it is to stand before a mirror that cannot be broken, a light that cannot be dimmed. Their calm, so often mistaken for weakness, is in truth the gathering of a storm, the silent drawing of a sword that strikes only when heaven commands. To mistake their calm for weakness is to court a reckoning, for their divine fire incinerates all that defies their sacred calling. They are not bound by human timelines or societal expectations. They move to the pulse of eternity itself. Rooted in divine will, this truth revelation is both a balm and a blade, healing the broken, judging the deceitful, forging new beginnings through the ashes of deception. As their path unfolds, their bond with truth cements their role as chosen ones, warriors of light whose every act of courage and clarity draws humanity closer to the sanctity they were always meant to embody. Through every word, every silence, every unflinching gaze, they proclaim, "Truth is not fragile. Truth is a sword, and in the hands of the chosen, it shall set the world ablaze with light." Guiding humanity toward the sanctity of truth revelation, chosen ones embody a divine purpose that radiates through their role as sacred guardians, weaving courage and clarity into the tapestry of existence. They are not merely teachers or healers. They are living fortresses, bearing the responsibility of safeguarding what is pure, what is eternal, in a world often driven by shadows. With an innate spiritual power, they rise as sentinels for the voiceless, uplifting the broken and championing those abandoned by hope. Picture a child, silenced by fear in a hostile world, finding refuge as a chosen one steps forward. Their presence, a divine light, crafts a sanctuary where trust and healing bloom anew. Or envision a weary soul, battered by life's relentless storms, lifted gently by their quiet strength, restored to dignity without need for applause. Their very existence breathes a silent promise. You are seen, you are valued, you are protected. This spiritual protection transcends the physical, forging a haven where hearts mend amidst the world's chaos, echoing the holy fire that purges falsehoods. In their presence, chaos loses its grip, despair melts before their unwavering light. Yet their guardianship is a dual vow, protecting not only others but fiercely shielding their own inner sanctum with cosmic justice. Their own soul, their divine mission, is a sacred territory not to be trespassed. Like a lighthouse enduring relentless waves, they safeguard their sacred space, mastering the art of spiritual hygiene to preserve their divine energy. They understand that to serve purely, they must remain pure. To heal others, they must not let their own wells run dry. Imagine a chosen one, entangled in a toxic bond that saps their light. They sever ties, not from bitterness, but from a holy discernment, a divine judgment to protect the truth revelation within them. They know that sometimes love demands departure, and mercy demands distance. This act, often misread by the world as coldness, is in truth a sacred necessity, a deliberate realignment with their divine timing and higher purpose. The Book of Psalms sings of God as a shield, and the chosen ones mirror this truth with their very lives, balancing boundless compassion with boundaries forged in heavenly wisdom. Their spiritual awakening sharpens an intuitive sense, a holy radar that discerns when their peace is under siege. At the first tremor of spiritual contamination, they act, not out of fear, but from anchored strength. They walk away with precision, with grace, without the need for drama or explanation, knowing that their light must remain undiminished for the battles yet to come. This divine purpose ensures they remain a beacon of hope, a lighthouse for the lost, unburdened by the weight of energies that would dim their mission. Yet when their sanctity is assailed, when malicious forces dare to breach their sacred ground, their divine fire ignites with unstoppable force, a stand rooted not in pride, but in spiritual integrity. Picture a mentor, their peace threatened by deception, rising not with rage but with the gravity of a coming storm, each word, each action backed by the full might of the universe's justice. Their defense is not chaos, but a truth revelation in motion, shielding not only their spirit but the very sanctity of authenticity itself. Rooted in divine will, their protective instinct is both a shield and a sword, guarding truth revelation, guarding spirit, guarding the sacred space where heaven's purposes are birthed on earth. As their journey unfolds, this sacred charge reveals their eternal calling, to forge paths of healing and justice with unwavering devotion, to defend light against darkness, and to embody the living covenant between God and humanity, a covenant etched not in stone, but in the fierce, radiant fire of a heart wholly surrendered. Forging paths of healing and justice, chosen ones embody an eternal calling that pulses through their strategic silence, a spiritual power as formidable as their fiercest stand. In them, silence is not absence, it is presence amplified. When provoked, their wrath is not a cacophony of words but a silent storm, annihilating with the sheer, immovable weight of truth revelation. Unlike the clamor of ordinary anger, their inner strength thrives in restraint, a divine light that speaks louder than any shout. Picture a friend, stung by betrayal, who withdraws without a word. Their absence sends shockwaves, unraveling the betrayer's facade as cosmic justice weaves its inevitable course. Or envision a leader seated among a deceitful council, choosing silence over dispute. Their quiet retreat shifts the unseen tides, exposing hidden lies as the universe unveils divine truth at its appointed time. This divine timing, honed through their spiritual awakening, allows the world to reveal its own hidden shadows. Their holy fire, once blazing in defense of the sacred, now smolders in potent silence, allowing the seeds of consequence to sprout without interference. The Book of Proverbs teaches, "In silence lies wisdom," and chosen ones wield this wisdom as a weapon, not of passivity, but of divine precision. Their strategic silence is never surrender. It is a battlefield chosen wisely, a pause pregnant with unstoppable force. Imagine a community entangled in webs of lies, where a chosen one's withdrawal shifts the atmosphere. Without their divine energy anchoring the space, pretenses crumble, and authenticity rises like dawn after endless night. Their absence itself becomes a judgment, a spiritual mirror that forces the hidden into view. Yet their power transcends silence, rooted in a divine intuition that pierces the veil of the soul. Guided by spiritual awakening, they read energies like sacred scrolls, deciphering hidden motives, unspoken fears, and cloaked insecurities with uncanny clarity. Picture a manipulator, cloaked in charm, faltering under their gaze. Their presence alone, a living truth revelation, exposing shadows without the need for confrontation. Toxic souls recoil, not because of spoken accusations, but because the chosen one's light reflects the very darkness they strive to hide. This divine perception demands no argument. It compels authenticity simply by existing. They shun petty disputes and hollow battles, trusting the unstoppable current of truth to do what force never could. Consider a workplace rife with hypocrisy. When a chosen one enters, the atmosphere tightens, the hidden tensions crackle in the air. Without lifting a finger, their very spirit demands reckoning. Their words, when spoken, are not mere utterances, but swords of divine fire, slicing through falsehoods with prophetic precision. In their silence and in their speech alike, they carry the thunder of heaven. This spiritual power extends to their transformative energy, a gift that reshapes the very environments they inhabit. When a chosen one steps into a room, the air itself shifts, as if kissed by the calm before an impending storm. Peace weaves itself through discord, clarity cuts through confusion, burdens lift from weary shoulders. Picture a tense gathering fractured by conflict, a chosen one's arrival bringing a hush, a pause where spirits recalibrate and truth finds room to breathe. Yet this gift is not limitless. When provoked, when sacredness is violated, their energy shifts. The gentle tide recedes, and a palpable tension falls. Imagine a sacred space violated by deception, the chosen one's withdrawal turning the atmosphere heavy, almost suffocating. This is no mere change of mood. It is a divine judgment, a spiritual earthquake shaking the very foundation of lies. Their holy fire, once a beacon, now becomes a warning flare, an unspoken summons to confront what has been buried. The book of Isaiah speaks of a presence that can alter nations, and so too does the presence of a chosen one transform the spaces they enter, igniting truth revelation in every shadowed corner. Those attuned to energy feel it immediately, a seismic shift, a calling back to authenticity, a sacred discomfort that demands transformation. Thus, through silent might and radiant truth, the chosen ones stand as living gateways between heaven and earth, preparing the world for the final unveiling of divine destiny. The chosen ones stand as living flames of divine truth, their very existence a testament to heaven's unbreakable covenant with the earth. They are the guardians of a sacred fire that neither time nor darkness can extinguish, wielding their spiritual power with unwavering devotion and transcendent clarity. From the lion's holy fire, where gentleness veils ferocity, to the radiance of divinity that heals and ignites hope, their every breath weaves transformation into the fabric of a fractured world. Through divine illumination, they wield the sword of truth, not only to heal, but to refine, to reveal what lies hidden beneath the surface of broken hearts and broken systems. Their divine timing, honed through surrender and spiritual awakening, synchronizes with the sacred rhythm of the universe, allowing truth revelation to emerge not by force, but by destiny's hand. And when provoked beyond divine thresholds, their sacred wrath erupts, not in reckless rage, but in holy judgment, reshaping destinies with precision forged in the fires of heaven. As sacred guardians, they defend the voiceless and shield their own sacred wells, mastering the art of spiritual preservation. In their silent might, they wield absence as a sword, intuition as a storm, exposing shadows without uttering a word. Their very presence demands authenticity. Their very silence rewrites destinies. Through it all, the chosen ones carry out their eternal charge: to heal, to unveil, to judge, to protect, and to illuminate, guiding humanity back to its forgotten sanctity. Their journey is not a path for the faint-hearted. It is a crucible of fire, a bridge of light spanning the abyss between heaven's promise and earth's need. In them, heaven breathes, and through them, the final unveiling of divine destiny draws near. They are not simply warriors. They are not simply healers. They are the living embodiment of truth revelation, silent, mighty, unstoppable. And as the sacred hour approaches, their flame will not falter. It will rise until every corner of darkness is consumed, and the world stands at last in the full brilliance of divine truth.